Hi, welcome everybody to the latest episode in our Great Start scheme. Today we're going to be talking about sustainability action plans. Again, great to have you with Sam Candy from Responsible Futures.
So before we do start, I just want to say these are things that anyone can do. The whole point is to make this as simple as possible. We're going to start off by setting some goals. First goal that I've put in this plan is reduce carbon emissions. So this is all about implementing measures to minimise carbon emissions, set net zero goals. The next goal would be to minimise waste. So you can do this by implementing waste reduction strategies. Then another goal might be to promote renewable energy and reduce energy use. And then we've got driving community engagement. So this is about engaging with your local community to raise awareness about sustainability issues, ensuring sustainability in your supply chain from sourcing right through to distribution. And then the final goal is about educating and empowering employees. Things like provide training and resources to empower your employees to adopt sustainable practices, both at work and in their personal lives. The next bit is about an action plan. So we're going to go through all of those goals and talk about, how you can action each one of them. So the first goal that we talked about was reduce carbon emissions. So to do that, you need to conduct a sustainability assessment. It sounds complex, but it's not. First, you've got to measure your emissions. Scope 1 is your direct emissions from owned or controlled sources, so your vehicles, petrol or diesel, your generators. Scope 2 is your indirect emissions from purchased electricity, heat or steam. And then Scope 3, often the hardest to measure, is because it's the emissions from sources that you don't own or you don't control in your company. So your supply chain, things like tea, coffee, food, electronics, business travel. So once you've got all of that, once you've measured it, you then want to implement measures to minimise those emissions. And you can do that through either setting policies or making changes or creating behavioural change through education. You can implement a sustainable travel policy, things like rail over air. Could you make a policy for any in-house meetings like employee to employee? Could they be virtual only? When travelling internationally, could you ban one-day trips or encourage the government cycle to work scheme? And on each of these Scope 3 emissions, you can find ways to reduce them. The next one that we talked about was minimising waste. You could put in a waste management policy, things like, do you recycle paper and plastics? Can you reduce your paper waste? Maybe remove a printer or switch to digital signatures. Another one would be really think about how much food you're ordering and how hungry people are. Set up a composting system for food scraps. Right, so the next one was promoting renewable energy and reduce energy use. Firstly, do you use renewable energy? Can you speak to your energy provider and switch to renewable energy? Can you put solar panels on your roof? Can you switch to a heat pump? Turn your temperature down on the heating or air cooling system. Just 1 degree makes such a massive difference. Ensure all your lights are LED. The other thing is put in motion sensor lighting. Switch to low flow plumbing, putting things like touch-free taps. Can you harvest rainwater? It's about behavioural measures, sustainable practices like switching off computers or lights.
Energy spend's a big piece. So there's both the beneficial side of having a sustainability plan and looking at your energy and where that comes from. But also, if they can make some adjustments in terms of their energy usage, then that's going to have an impact in terms of reducing costs as well.
So yeah, I think energy is a big one. So I'm going to give you here a list of lots of different things that you can do if you want to drive community engagement. And this is one of the best things you can do. Host a community workshop or an event. Collaborate with local schools and universities. Volunteer opportunities, huge impact. Just make sure that you're sharing things that are real and true and that you actually are doing. Community partnerships, and share your journey with the local community. Customer education programs, run green challenges. I love this. Competitions. Let other people come up with some ideas for you. And then the final one would be transparent about it and report it. Produce and promote exactly what you're doing. So the next one, greening your supply chain. Have the conversation with them and tell them that you're looking at ways to be more sustainable. Put in a sustainable supply chain policy. Can you reduce product miles? Work with businesses that are in your communities. Most companies now have a sustainability page on their website, and sometimes they have a lot more sustainability, but they haven't shared it. You might have an impact report that they haven't shared, but you can look on any website and see their sustainability pages. But also, if you're not sure about it, then ask them, and maybe you can help them on their journey as well. When you're looking at working with your suppliers, can you actually help them and say, we want you to measure your carbon footprints because you're in our scope 3 and we need to report on that. Here's how we did it. We'd like you to do it the same. Not necessarily just saying to a supplier, no, we don't want to work with you, but saying, would you be able to relook at the tender that you put in and cover off some of those points because you missed them off?
Thank you, Sam. Right, what we go for next?
One more. It's the last one. The final goal is educate and empower employees. So you can run training sessions, you could invite in guest speakers, so you can run internal workshops, so you can create online resources. And there's also putting together sustainability committees, bringing other people in. People will be passionate about that. So run sustainability challenges. Go and measure your carbon footprint. There's going to be a prize at the end of the year when somebody joins the company. Actually tell them about what you're doing. I mean, this should be the kind of conversation actually that's going on in interview process. Talk to them about sustainability, but when they join, tell them all the things that you're doing. Also have a regular sustainability update. So you could have a sustainability newsletter and share that on a month-to-month basis or a bi-monthly basis. You could have an employee feedback ideas box.
Yeah, absolutely. Talk about it. Now, something we've not talked about too much in any of these videos, but we are digitally badging the Great Start scheme. So there'll be one for businesses in terms of how they're starting on Great Start and some attainability badges there to show just the journey you're going through. But also for employees, there will be badges for all of the content that we've got here. So anyone watching it can get that, and you can share those so it can show employees in terms of their own individual ways of how their sustainability journey and knowledge is gaining and growing. Any documentation we're going to have available afterwards, you could download. It'll be alongside this on our website at ECC, and any of the supporting document that goes along with it as well. So we talked about waste, so any of the opportunities that you could do with waste, any of the opportunities that we know in terms of funding, we will provide as much as we can. Thank you again. There's lots for everyone to take away. Hopefully, even if you're taking away one thing and developing a sustainability plan, then that is brilliant. And so we've got more videos to come, but thanks again. Thanks everybody, and we look forward to the next one. Take care. Bye.